Alrighty, Doc here. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those out there tuning in. Let's see what we got today. We ended the week kind of interesting. We have CPI and PPI popping out at the end of this week. I guess that will be another confirmation of the issues of the day, of course, in other words, inflation and recession and so forth and so on. So I'd imagine that's how that process is going to play out. You can see on J4X right there, you can see the dollar index moving up very firm. You can see the same thing over on Chicago Quant right there, and Chicago Quant right here. You can see dollar index holding firm in a weekly and a daily buys. Not letting go, and obviously because of that, I guess we can throw a quick picture of gold. Gold is probably is down last I looked, and I guess when the dollar is going up, they have to offset it with something, and they sell gold and silver. And so as long as, and I guess in many ways, as long as we see gold and silver not pay attention to inflation. It tells us that it's because more of the dollar is so firm that they need to be on the opposite side of it. And the bigger question is, who is that that's on the opposite side of it? I guess it's the banks and institutions and the Federal Reserve and so forth and central banks across the planet. They sell the metals complex and generate, that's why there's so much... I guess the ratio, when you really think about it, the ratio of gold traded today versus dollars, I mean, obviously it's not, but then there must be other games that can be played in the arbitrage. We've talked about it here. If you sell something that's denominated in dollars and then go in and buy the options, you basically create a synthetic short on the dollar, but not the product itself. So in other words, if you go out and sell corn or soybeans or any other product that's denominated oil, denominated in dollars, and you at the same time hedge yourself with the options, then what it is you're short dollars, because once you've sold it, you've got to go buy dollars to pay for it. And if you don't buy dollars to pay for it, then you become short the dollar and the oil. And you buy the option, and the option hedges the oil, but it doesn't necessarily hedge the dollar. So I think that's the actions and the recipes we see over and over again. Hey, Robin. Yeah, so I mean, here we are again, another day, and the dollar finds a way to go to another high. It doesn't seem to let go, and at the same time, there's gold. You can see that is heading down, and it's down to took out was that Wednesday's? Wednesday's low of last week now, which was 1730.70, and today's low is 13. Wait a minute, let's try that again. 1730.7, and I guess we didn't take the low out. We're at the low today is 1731.6, so missed it by $1. So I thought they had taken that low out. Wouldn't surprise me if silver's done that. Just take a quick look at silver. Nope, silver hasn't done it either. It was there's that low, and it hasn't taken that out either. It's just down for the day, and that's it. On all our work, like in both of those, showing pressure constantly on the downside. Constant selling. It doesn't seem to stop, and I have to credit it because of the amount of dollars across the planet. And there's just so much dollar out there, and there's not much other equity can run too. It's not people per se. It could be funds. It could be individuals. It could be governments. They're looking for a way of hedging off their dollar risk, and that's the only way to do that. All right. So from there, let's jump over to the Swiss and see what the Swiss is up to. There is the Swissaroo. Swissaroni, there it is, just marching up slow and steadily compared to the euro last week, which almost hit the century mark. Right there's the Swiss. You see it's marching up. I imagine let's take a look at the euro. There's the euro. And it's still flirting with that century mark. Now the low is par .00809. So it's pretty close to hit the century mark. I guess there must be money just rushing towards it when it goes to the... Well, let's put it this way. There may be a pause. They'll smack it down. And then I would imagine they'll find a way to base it. Let's put it up on J4X. A lot of people here have been asking, saying it's going to the dollar point for years here. They've been saying it. And it's finally happening. It's finally, threatening that corner. And there it is right there. You can see that the euro pressing down towards its lows of the day. And, we've been in a daily sell since here. And we've been in a weekly sell since here. And so that pressure just is not being alleviated whatsoever. Buyers are not coming in yet. But they have to be holding the line somewhere along here, I'm sure. Somewhere they are purchasing it. And I would imagine they'll find a way to bust through it. That way they can get the sensation, bring in some sellers, and the next thing you know, it'll go back up again. So that's the excitement and all. And I think we ended up in a daily buy. When we get to oil, I'll mention this crazy story that's out there. That's it's a real story. It's just odd, But I'll remember that. I will remember it. Now let's go look at the Great British Pound. There it is. So we went into the buy right there. We're down. Ouch. We're, looking at that right there, and it's right on the edge. You can see it's just minus by a hair, and we've been stuck in this weekly sell now since the middle of April. So they're not giving that up. It just it just refuses. Since back up in here, they just refuse to get this thing into a buy. And it just keeps on rolling along. There just isn't a lot of hunger or desire or conviction to be on the long side here. Every time we turn around, it goes into a daily buy. I keep on hoping that this is the beginning of like a 3 or 4 day up move, and the weekly will turn into the plus, and this thing will take off. And I'm thinking 2 billion people in the Commonwealth and the whole bit. It just seems to stall out. All right. Now let's from there. Let's jump over to. Let's put it on J4X. Right there. One green and rolling over again. Rolling with the homies. And here we are, just on the edge, just minus by the hair of its chinny chin. And this will start to snap up soon. You'll see this curving. Okay. From there, we go over to the Turkish lira. This should be really interesting. We'll go to dollar Turkish lira first. This should be really interesting. Well, we've taken out that 36 thing. The 1736. Now we're trading at 1738. Right there. The high now is 1738. So I guess it's this must be the horse race it's on. Are they? What have they done, and what did they turn off? And we're not even getting clean stories out of there. Just that they're trying to find a way to stop people from buying dollars in Turkey. You just can't make up this stuff. It's some strange stuff. I was so happy they started giving out free puts, I was really happy. I thought, oh man, that's a brilliant move. I'm glad they're doing it, so forth and so on. And then boom, out of nowhere they go the other way. They do something that scares the marketplace to the point where they're not buying Turkish lira anymore. So, we'll just have to sit back and wait, see when the news pops out, or they go through another calamity of some form. It's unfortunate, but true. All right, let's check out the Turkish lira with the euro right there. That's looking less tenacious, which says to me that it's more to do with just, speculators. You have to assume that the dollar Turkish lira is way more volatile and less predictable in its own way than the euro Turkish lira, where the euro Turkish lira is probably really used more for actual business. Because they're bordering countries. So you would think that there'd be there'd be a lot more interest. Right there, there it is. There's the euro Turkish lira. Look how flatlining is this. Just like us on J4X. So vice versa, Chicago Quant right there. Look at that. Same situation. We've gotten a couple of reds here. We're flirting with no. Is that a green there? So we got a couple of green dots. This is just so flat at this point that the math is just saying, don't take it too serious. Then all of a sudden we see this. We see the weeklies trying to break down compared to the dollar Turkish lira, where we weren't anywhere near as close, I don't believe. Let me go back to that. Yeah, it's doing fine. Not dipping down whatsoever, whereas the Turkish lira euro pair trade, or euro Turkish lira pair trade, is flirting with the weekly sell. Look at that today. And again, that must be the location. That always makes sense to me. It has to be the location. Whereas the dollar Turkish lira is just a outright more speculation. Alrighty. Oh, nice yawn there. Let's go check out. No questions today. No one's in visiting. We missed that. We want questions like, why is this going up, or why does that go down, and so forth and so on. Alright. Let's jump over to the Canadian. There it is right there. CAD. It slipped into a daily sell on Friday, and it's trying to work its way back up. Weekly is still holding on very firm there. Same thing here. You see this strength. A little sloppiness there, but nothing major. And volume is dropping. So, and you got a green there today. And we got a red and a green trying to develop. So this probably points to a little bit more lower oil. I think that's the best way to describe it. And let's take a look at the oil contract. I did see it was down. There we go, right there. They're pressing down pretty good. Closed at 0480, and it's trading at 0120 or 15, or where's that last? 017. So you're getting a lot of pressure here. Also, at the same time, I noticed that the offer is 14, 13s, 14s are trading. The low is 01. It's just come off its lows, the 101.07. Now it's 10 bids and 11s and 13s, and you got to figure they're going to probably try to do that again. I saw October contract. When we go look at the energies later on, we'll see that the October contract is flirting around with the daily sell today. And now you can see the front month is starting to do that. Now, at the same time, we expected to see, as you can see here on J4X, we expect to see some weakness against the dollar, which means it's going up against the dollar with oil going down. That's the natural tendency of it. Let's see. Now let's go over to South African Rand. It's lifting up. That usually is indicative of gold going up. So let's see what they got over here. There it is right there. And I'm sorry, it's lifting up because gold's going down. That's what it is. So it's doing the right thing. It's rising. It's telling us that gold is still going down. Whew. Wow, talk about great potential for different arbitrages with everything tied to the dollar. There is some great opportunity there. It's definitely unique, that's for sure. We see that action more and more every day. You know, the attempt to try to be hedged, the attempt to try to, be what's the word for it? I guess balanced against the risk of having to be long all these dollars when you see the dollar trading at all-time highs. It's like, do you really want to have to take that risk on? All right, and there we are. There's the gold. Still same low, 31.6. Let's see. What else we have? I guess we go from there to the yen. Let's go to the yen and see what's up with the yen. Here you are. Yeah, you can see right there that strength. Right there. Yep. We're expecting to see that taken out. There it is. It's finally done it. 4 days in a buy and 2, 4, 6. Going on a 7th week in a buy. And it's not letting go. And I understand the ruling party in Japan won. So, I mean, there's less paranoia. You know what I mean? After Shinzo Abe was assassinated. Definitely weird. The whole world is weird. All right. And last but not least of the currencies that we chase, let's go to the Mexican peso. There it is. Peso is pushed into a sell on Friday and trying to lift up again today. We're in that weekly buy, so you don't really want to get short. So, and I don't understand now. This thing seems to keep on adding more data that makes it look like it's went into a weekly sell. It's been it's like as if they keep on adding data to the past. I guess somebody's been trading the stuff in a black pool, and then what happens is slowly finds its way into the clearinghouses and the exchange, and then the exchange fills in the data from that day. So I don't know. It's strange, very strange. I'm not changing that. I'm leaving it the way it is. Because it's been going on. It's gone from the first week where it was just plus to like last couple of weeks we've seen it dip down more, and more data is being flowed in. See, one of the deals with funds, institutions, and so forth is that if you're going to trade in a black pool, sooner or later you got to put those trades in. Used to be that it's against the law. It still is. It's against the law. You can't really trade a black pool. So in other words, you can't have third-party executions going on without crossing it on the exchange floor. And when you cross it on the exchange floor, it goes right into the system instantly. And what they're doing is instead they're trading these things in a black pool away from the exchange, and then they just put it in like days and weeks later. And it gets crossed as an out trade later on, and then it filters into the volume and so forth over time, and the prices. Very disappointing. It's like they'll decide which laws they want to honor and pay attention to, and which laws they're going to break. Crazy. The Securities Exchange Commission is crazy. All right. So you can see here the peso is trapped on that 50 percentile area right there. All right. From there, that pretty much cleans up all the currencies that we normally look at. So from there, we can drift over to what do we do from here? Oh yeah, let's go check out the rest of oil and gold and silver and so forth. So let's go to, that's gold. Let's put silver up there. There's silver. And we're seeing the same thing with silver. That pressure is on. Not taking out the lows, of course, but it's still on and still in a weekly sell for a couple weeks here. All right, from there, what else can you say about silver? It's flat. Looks like a base. We've pierced the 18s. Who would think? It's like as if fundamentals just don't exist anymore. Throw out the fundamentals. They don't count. I heard somebody this morning, just to bring up that follow through on that conversation. Someone I trust, in the media, say that they're not really sure where the Federal Reserve is going to go with QT, quantitative tightening. In other words, it looks like they're going to maybe liquidate from the portfolio, maybe not. They're not even sure how important that is at the moment. It looks like they'll raise the rates with no problem at all, another 0.75. But the futures contracts and everything else is pointing that once they get to that 3 or 3.5 area, it's really going to stall out, and they're going to start to. The markets are starting to predict that there'll be rate cuts. Now that makes sense to me because I believe that how to describe this? That the election could have very profound effects in a positive way. And then they could go and start to lower interest rates. And the only way we really get out of all this is by growing the economy, which seems like something that's totally alien to them. So, let me think. Where else are we? Let's check out copper. There's copper. Someone was saying this morning on, again, another person that I trust, said that they've never seen copper in 50 years make these moves like the way they moved. In other words, it was a very dramatic move that drove it down from $4 to under 3.5 in a matter of just a few days, and then 2 weeks, that type of thing. So, as you can see right there, now we're flirting with a daily sell after 2 days and a buy, but we've been in that weekly sell, for this is the 5th week. And there's the copper there on J4X. You can see here you're getting that same red as we're getting right there. And we're at the top end of the range right here. And we're in a weekly sell right there. So, there is pressure on this product. And it could be just as simple as the economy is slowing. So, the funds have to sell it because of the inflation. Actually, you would think that gold and silver, you would think they'd be buying it because of the inflation, but they don't. They seem to be selling it, which means it's dominant over the dollar easily. Or the fundamentals are not dominant over the dollar. That's what it is. The fundamentals are not dominant over the dollar. That'd be a great title for this. The fundamentals don't follow the dollar. How about that? That sounds like some logical thing. And as you can see, with copper right there like that, and on J4X, it's just pressure down. Nothing more than that. Just pressure, pressure, pressure down. All right. Now from there, we go over to, well, it's the beginning of the week, so let's take a look at the platinum. There's the Rocktober. Being pushed down a little bit, trying to get back into a sell after a bunch of days here, or a couple days here, 4 days in a buy. Still in that long weekly sell for going on a 6th week. And a lot of times platinum will lead the direction of the precious metals. That daily that was popping up, I thought, oh yeah, Robin saw a finger in the formation for some bottoming in the silver, and we saw platinum start to go on this, daily run. I thought, ooh, maybe we do get a shot at it, but I really think that it's gonna take the election. I think that metals will be much more better to trade going into after the election and into next year, because I really think that the Congress, when it changes, is going to be way more responsible in many different ways, the way it should be. All right, so that's pretty much the metals complex. Let's go over to the energy complex. And there is front month crude. It's just plus by a very little amount. And we're in that weekly sell now for going on a 5th week. Let's go into the back month. Right there, October. And it's put Brent up on J4X at the same time. You see Brent is trying to lift. And but it's down for the day. But, the hinkies are trying to turn up. You can see here, with not much problem, the back month in oil is dropping. And that weekly feels very comfortable where it's sitting at. And again, we think that this thing's going to bounce between 90 and 120, like a $30 range, which is a little bit more exotic and wider than normal. But again, this product can handle the volatility. It is a volatility creature, very much so. It has its own volatility that has no relationship to old traditional concepts of volatility. Well, let's rephrase that. Doesn't have any relationship to the ideas of bull and bear markets and active markets. That's what it really is. They all follow volatility correctly. They all do it. Sometimes the volatility index, let me just show you like the S&P volatility index. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes, but I mean, it does follow the path of a strength in the market. Let's see, where's it at? VIX. Do I have to open it up? I think I do. It's not there. Okay. So let's open up one of these. Let's do that one. And there's the VIX index right there. And we've been in the daily sell since up in here. Right in there. Been in a weekly sell since back here. Actually, it's further back. I mean, that's the close of that week, of course. But you see right there, that's where the sell started. Joined in with this. And the pressure was down, got into a buy here, and we popped up, but we're still in that weekly sell. Now crude oil, let's just get back to crude, right there. Crude oil can handle that volatility; it's natural to it. But you say use it. The product is used. It's a very important product on the planet, and it's the manifestation of our inflation now from odd policies. Anti-energy, what is it? There's a second one out there. Anti-energy and I know there was another one. It was on the top of my mind. I'll come up with it again. But that's where their heads are at. Then from there, we take a look at natural gas right there. You can see the strength in that starting to lift up again, unfortunately. I'm afraid to say that I'm sure that when we go and look at European natural gas, it's going to be in the 28s. So let's check that out. It's in here somewhere. There it is right there. That's Deutsche Bank. Where's that euro? There it is right there. You can see there 28.18. Not too bad. It was 28 on Friday. So, but it's showing that strength. There's some real rebellion, I guess you guys are having over in on the continent. They're complaining that the French and the Germans in particular very disturbed about the energy situation and not happy about the cutoff. It's better to. I know that they pick and choose when to play capitalism. That's what socialists do. It's always wrong too, and this one's one of them. They chose to shut down their nuclear power plants in Europe and stop using coal. Now they're cranking those things up again, realizing that they've got to use them or they're not going to have any energy. Not counting fuel. Now fuel can be transported a lot easier. So, but it's a very tough situation. Very tough. All right. So from there, let's see. Let's go find. Let's see. So we went to natural gas. We went to the European natural gas. So that just shows you where we're at the moment. Back months in oil are falling here in the States, and the front month is just about on the edge. And as you can see here on Brent, where's Brent again? There it is. It's trying to lift up, but you can see it's minus at the moment at 104 and change. All right, from there we'll go over to the stock indices. Let's see, stock indices. There we are. And here's the S&P 500. You can see it's down a little bit from Friday. We're still, look at this. This is interesting, as they're trying to break into the weekly buy. So, when I saw that last night, I thought to myself, is this going to be an opportunity for a second leg up? There's a lot of political noise out there, so it's hard to really think that there's a lot of conviction in this marketplace at this time. I would say, if anything, it feels like a summer, and it feels like where there's no kind of conviction or willingness to really step up and do more than they have to. In other words, dollar cost average in when that's necessary, and take profits when necessary, and that's it. It's holding the positions. I would have to think there's a lot of funds that sold the calls and bought the puts, put collars on just to protect themselves. All right. And so, let's see what it looks like on J4X. There it is right there, the S&P 500. Showing the pressure on it. And let's put the daily in there too. There it is right there. It's down 24 points. You can see it set lows into the European hours. Let's widen that out. Let's just throw it another day. Let's put 2 days in there. There we are. And there is the European opening right around in here. Right before it, they started driving it down. And there's the actual beginning, London and Switzerland and Frankfurt and all the others, Madrid, uh, Milan, so forth, Amsterdam. You can see it found the bottom and started to lift. What is it? Where's that? It was at 65, right? 865. You see it right now. It's trading at 12 points higher at 877. So the pressure is, it's holding up pretty well there, showing some real life. All right, now, coming off its lows. Now let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100, or the Tech 100, however you would like to rephrase it. And what is that? That's an intraday, so you can see that that's down 79. And in the European hours right there, it was trading at it's trading at 1273 now, and this morning it was down as low as 11996. So it broke the 1200s and found a way to lift back up again. Let's take a look at the daily there. Right there. And you see weekly again in that product also showing life, joining in with the dailies. So as I was saying earlier, when I saw that last night, I thought, wow, maybe there's opportunity coming around the corner in that product. And there it is there on J4X. Then we go and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. You can see they're flirting with the daily sell, and at the same time lifting up with the weekly. It's going on everywhere. There you go. We're running bloopers on Mr. Biden where he makes mistakes all the time. Every time he has a speech, he just seems to make some odd mistakes. All right, from there, let's see, we've done the three. Oh, and let's just show you on the intraday too. And let's put. Oh, and we put it up on J4X also. There it is, right there. And there it is on the J4X, showing some life in it. Trying to curve at the top there, so maybe they do that little William O'Neill cup and saucer thing. So what happens is that we get the handle, the cup and handle, on a mug or a glass or a teacup. So we get this pulling back here and then turning around and finding a way to climb back up again. That would make sense to me. Wow, talk about a quiet morning, Robin, huh? I mean, it's really quiet. Nobody's interested in looking at anything this morning. It's like we're seeing Twitter traded down in the 34s and change. That's kind of interesting. Mr. Musk came out and said, Butkus, I'm not paying the numbers that you guys said you would sell to me to because you turned me down and you're lying to me about the bots. They really don't. They just don't have a good handle on how many real followers they have. Yeah, it's dead. Dead. I saw somebody come in and went right back out the door again. They were like, oh, too quiet. That's what they're saying. It's too quiet. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from there? Seen some really interesting stories over the last couple hours. I saw the one with the people in Norway and their tractors, and the farmers are rebelling against what the government's trying to do to the farming community. It never stops, does it? It's always crazy. There's always something. Here you go. Here's a picture of it. They call it the Great Awakening. There it is, right there. You can see it on the screen. And there's a picture of the tractors. Look at that. Look at those tractors. Someone's really ridiculing Twitter right now, saying that the board of directors is so incompetent. Oi, 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 oi. Now, let's see. We've looked at the stock indices. Did we see? Oh, and let's get rid of this now. I like seeing farmers and tractors. And there is the Dow Jones Industrial Average as we put up on the short term. Just trying to bounce around. Now, where else do we go to at this point? Hey, Robin, you want to see that and that mushroom stock? Let's see if we can find that mushroom stock. There you go, right there. And there it is. Kathy Wood's fund. Where's it at? Just there it is. Showing a little strength here this morning. Just trying to press up. It closed in the weekly buy last week, and it's joined in with that daily buy. So, the thing has come off of the $3 area 5 weeks ago, and is now heading for the $4.50 area. Shroons, huh? Medical shroons. Isn't that something? That's odd. I thought it was another one of our tech, what do you call it? Tech funds. It does, yeah. It's showing life. I mean, it's a weekly buy, daily buy, the whole bit, All right. From there, let's go to, let's see. There's the Rocket Company. That's starting to turn back up. Nice. You can see it's trying to get into a weekly buy, too. Very close. This is one of the rocket companies, like, I forget what they call it, but they let me see if I can find the stock name. Okay, let's see. ASTR. Astrospace Inc. That's what it is. Little rocket company. I think they just put something up in space about a week or two back. Looks like it's getting some life into it. What else is there? Let's go over to the charts again. There it is. There's the what do they call those things? The fangs. Fangs were up to 100. If they only had options on that service. All right. Now from there we go over to, what else can we look at? Oh, there's something. Let's check these out. There is Coin. It closed in a weekly buy last week also. And here is, let's show you Bitcoin. That's the equity side of it. It's an exchange that trades all these cryptos. And that's what Coin is. So when we look at Coin right there, it's been trying to bottom for a while. I've been wondering if that was going to pull the Bitcoin up. And it has. And there's Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is, that's the last, I don't know why they did. Let me fix that. There we are. Yeah, so it's playing with a cell today, but now it's they've removed that. Okay, so it's perked back up, so it's not really there yet. You can see here the weekly, just still underneath. The cryptos they're kind of stalled. I guess someone had put a headline. Oh, I know what I want to talk about this morning. I found something that how I talk about China. And we look at China and we try to understand how they could be the second largest economy when we know that that the European Union is the second largest economy in the world. And so, we try to understand China. China is very hard to understand in some ways and easy in other ways. So what's hard about it is the numbers are never factual. They're all like extrapolated theory type of stuff. So they don't really have fundamentals you can trust, but they put the numbers out for the accountants, and then they just fudge it and they can't prove it. So here, check this story out. This was I found this to be very fascinating. Let's find it here. Where's it at? Right, not there. We'll find it in a second. There you go. It's a Chinese bank run that happened over the weekend. And let's see, we'll bring it over to you right here. It says China bank run turns violent after angry crowd storms Bank of China branch over frozen deposits. So it was supposedly this particular bank there's 6 banks. And the article starts off here telling us while the world of and the chart they put up too is really wild. The U.S. versus China bank assets, right? So they're saying that the China bank assets are 54 trillion. And they're saying basically that the American, when they look at American banks, here, let me put the chart up right there. You can see that it's like almost 50% less, which I find really hard to believe, but that's besides the point. So now, so I thought about it last night. I thought 54, is that 54? Yeah. 54 trillion versus basically like 25 trillion, okay, in the United States. So it's half, and I'm looking at it here and I'm shaking my head and I'm saying, I just don't believe China has that assets. Now let's go back to let's see what I can do here. Go like this. I'm gonna put 2 of these up here. So I'm gonna copy that, go like that, and then put that in there like that. There we are. There it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards on this, the article. So, as a matter of fact, we'll take this and put it on there together. So you'll see the chart. This is what confuses me. This is why I'm always confused about what's the reality about China. In other words, it's like an angry, angry colony of some form of the United States. Pretty much, that's about it. So now here's the article. So they're saying here, it says, China has 54 trillion in financial system compared to the United States. It only has like 25 trillion. Okay, and that's what the chart here is trying to show us. Okay, and that's China, the red. Let's see. Let me move this over. Yeah, so it's showing where it intersected around 2009-10. When the banking system collapsed in the world. How come the Chinese one didn't? I'm not sure, but anyway. So you look at that, right? Now, this is what I want to show you, which really blows my mind. Okay? So there are 6 banks, branches of this particular bank. And according to the Chinese media, right here, I'm going to show it to you. According to the Chinese media, this run on the banks across the various local banks could be worth about $1.5 billion. That's it. So in other words, they need $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion to stop the runs. Okay, so the banks froze all these millions of dollars worth of deposits in April, telling customers, this is April now. Here we are in July. Okay, that's a quarter, and people are getting shot and killed, and large crowd of angry Chinese bank depositors faced off with police Sunday, and many of them were injured and taken away amid the freezing of their deposits. This has been going on for months, right? And it's $1 billion, just $1.5 billion. That's it. All right, now. If you have 54 trillion, all right, how much is really $1.5 billion out of 54 trillion, right? So I thought to myself, if you took it and said, okay, I have 55 euros, but I'm not sure what like there's 100 what euro cents? Is there, what do they call them? Let's say you had $55, okay, and you wanted, and you think of it as $54, $54 instead of $54 trillion, okay? So $54, all right. Now they need 1.5 billion. What does that equate out of $54? That's not even 1/5. That's not even a tenth of 1 cent. So in other words, you could pay a penny. You have $54 in your pocket, and someone says, you owe me a penny. That's rounding the number out because it's not even a penny that they owe. It's less. It's like 1/10 of a penny. It's even less than that. It's like it's 0.007 that's owed. Okay, but round it out. You got $54 in your pocket. You're going to give out a penny. You owe somebody a penny. Give them a penny. You might even give them half a dollar. You might even give them a whole dollar, right? Well, why can't China find a $1.5 billion to take care of these people? And they're being beat up and shot, and all kinds of things are happening. It's about 380 miles southwest of Beijing. There's 6 branches, I think, they have of this particular bank. Now they're calling them corrupt. All right? So it says it here. I mean, it's very clear, the whole article right there. You see it right there. On Sunday, about 1,000 people gathered, outside the Zhejiang branch of China's central bank on Sunday to demand action. A whole quarter has gone by. They need $1.5 billion. That's it. Pennies. Compared to having 54. Let's go up to it. I mean, they put a beautiful chart there. Look at this. They got this big giant chart telling you that they got 54 trillion in assets. Well, find a 1.5 billion. That's like taking a penny out of your pocket and having $54 in there. And in all essence, in all fact, it's not even that. It's not even a tenth of a penny. So in other words, you'd be giving them 50 times more. It's like, something's wrong here. I don't understand it. How can China total bank assets be 54 trillion when they can't find 1.5 billion to pay off something? I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's been going on for a whole quarter now, for 3 months. So, I mean, this really confuses me. It's like, how can they be worth 54 trillion if they can't even find $1 billion to take care of these people? Does anybody see that? Is it me or what? Is it my arbitrage mind? In other words, they have 54. It's right there. It says it. 54 trillion. Right there. Total bank assets. Twice the amount of the Americans. Twice the amount. It says it here. Right there. China with its 54 trillion in the financial system. It's so odd that they can't find $1.5 billion. And like I said, it's like having here you go. It's better yet. It's like having excuse me, 5,000. Is it 5,000 or 500? It's like having $540 in your pocket and you owe a penny. That's it. A penny, not even a dollar. 1 penny. And the Chinese can't find that 1 penny. That's what's confusing me. So it'd be like having $540 in your pocket, and someone says, hey, you owe me money. And they go, how much do I owe you? Well, you owe me a penny. Oh, not a dollar? No, a penny. Okay, here's a penny. Tell you what, here's a whole nickel. That's what's confusing me all the time with China. So when I see China and I see these stories and they don't make any sense to me, and they throw out these numbers like China with, I have it highlighted right there. China having 54 trillion in financial system. Why can't they find $1.5 billion to fix that bank and help the depositors? How do you keep an economy going? Something doesn't fit something's not real, and it always amazes me when I see these stories. I just shake my head and I go, I'm more towards being an arbitrageur and a trader. So I really have a hard time understanding, believing. I don't believe there's 54 trillion there. That's the problem. Because if it was, they throw out the $1.5 billion, we wouldn't know about the story, done over with, history. But they were willing to let people be beat up and shot at and taken away by the government for 3 months now because they're not willing to find just $1.5 billion to take care of it when they have 54 trillion. I mean, am I the only one that sees this as odd? And imagine, I'll say it one more time. Imagine you had $540 in your pocket and someone came up to you and said, "Hey, you owe me money." And you go, "How much do I owe you?" About a penny. Wouldn't you give them the penny? You have $540 in your pocket. Wouldn't you give them the penny? Something's wrong there. All right, I just wanted to show that every so often when I see these, excuse me, see these things, I'm always amazed. And you would think that it would be on the front page of everywhere. The arbitrageurs would be like, "This is crazy." I mean, that's the way I look at it. But no one seems to say anything about it. They just let it happen. All right, traders, we're going to jump out of here. And I am not even sure what the title should be. I think it's fundamentals, because that's a fundamental. And the title should really be is fundamentals don't follow the dollar. I think that's the best way to describe it. They really don't. They're out on their own. They are totally out on their own. All right, now let me send that over as a title, and we'll get out of here. So, traders, this is Doc from North America, and we will catch you all tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be more action. Fundamentals. Versus dollar. I think that's the way to look at it. All right, traders. Happy trails to you until we meet again. What's that, Robin? Bad abacus. Abacus? Yeah, something don't make any sense there. Happy trails to you, to our trading friends. Later, traders. Catch you Tuesday.